how is your work with the young people, educating them about nutritional excellence, transform their lives?
Okay.
And what is the kind of the feedback you've got?
Okay, so every semester we do what they call a faculty or a faculty review. The students give their student opinions on the classes and things like that. And I have no idea, because what's really cool is that I'm in the classroom doing the didactic part, and we actually have a perfect setup at NAU where I'm teaching in the classroom, and down the hallway, we have a foods lab with 8 stations of 4 people. So half the students have a 60 student class. 30 of them will be in with me on the lecture part. And then next week they'll go to the lab. And then the ones that are in the lab come back into the classroom.
So they get to cook and try.
Yeah, exactly. Until you can actually get in there. Because a lot of students today do not know how to cook. They only know how to run a microwave.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what I'm saying?
Sure.
And so we introduced them to a lot of Nutritarian recipes. We use the Super 100 Foods book you wrote.
Cool.
And those are our recipes. And so fortunately, my lab director is my wife. She's running the foods lab down the hallway, my former business partner. She's down there running the labs. We've set up the lab.
Cool.
They have 8 stations, and they go there and they try new foods like the cauliflower. What's the cauliflower?
Mashed potato?
Yeah, those. And then we have them doing all kinds of new foods. And they said, you know what? I would have never tried these foods if I hadn't been in this class. And then by the end of the class, they're feeling better. Their emotional health is improving. We have a mental health. I call it a crisis with young adults today.
Yeah.
This helps them quiet down, calm down. And I have students contact me. How can I go into a career where I can do this type of work?
Wow.
That's where we're at.
So you're getting a lot of younger people excited about doing this. Yeah.
And I was thinking about that.
Because that's happened to you. Somebody got you into when you were learning in college. Yeah. That's cool.
Yeah, and so the thing is that I don't teach it from a standpoint, this is an all or nothing program. Let's just start doing a G-bomb every day.
Yeah.
Get the greens, beans, onions, mushrooms, berries, and seeds, and some tomatoes. Every day, start doing that. And then by the end of the semester, there's been such a shift in most of the students. Okay.
Wow. And what kind of evaluations do you get from these students?
Off the charts.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, I'm not trying to brag. It's the content. It's not me. It's the content. And it's always
you have passion and enthusiasm for it, obviously.
Well,
it's not dry. When we're excited about what we're doing, we have passion,
Exactly. Right? I mean, we've seen the magic. And I see it every semester. And that's why I'm working with you and Dina and getting that book together so we can have a comprehensive food as medicine textbook that our students can use with labs and assignments and just package that thing. We should probably make it available to people who aren't students.
Yeah. Okay, so we got to finish this up, though. So what about, quickly, your students, what about the ones that were athletes or on the school team, or what happens when you work with athletes?
All of the athletes, I've been invited to talk to a lot of our teams on campus, and different coaches are more open to the nutritional components and things like that. But I remember back a couple of years ago, a student made an appointment with me. And at the time, we did not have a dietitian on staff with the athletic department. We do now. I actually helped forge that and get a full-time dietitian over there. So I was volunteering my time counseling teams and athletes. Student made an appointment with me. I think it was the week before Thanksgiving, and he said, "Boy, he came in and I didn't know who this guy is. A burly guy, and he said, I'm really sore. I'm lethargic. I can't even get through my workout." So I did a little assessment on him, and I said, "What do you do?" He's a hammer thrower. It's a field event. And they're told to bulk up. The bigger, the better, right? And I said, let's run through what you eat in a day, what you normally eat. Well, my coach told me to eat as much fat and protein as I can. And then he gave me a breakdown of what he ate. And this is the first time I ever did this. I looked at him right in the eye and I said, "Bro," I said, "Man," "you're on a train, ready to wreck." And he looked at me like, "What do you mean?" And I asked him what he was studying. And he was studying psychology. And I know throwers like to mark everything. So many meters or feet.
Of course. So
they're charting everything. And I'm thinking in the back of my mind, Andy scores with this guy. So I went through this thing and I said, okay, why don't you take a look at this chart? I said, do you think you could get 1,000 to 1,500 points on your Andy scores? I figured, where am I going to start?
Yeah.
So I'm just going to start simple. Can you get 1,000 to 15? He goes, I'll give it a shot. And so I'd run into him in the Sprouts produce department, whenever I'd go there. And I didn't know who this guy was. So after he left, I went and looked around, and he was our leading hammer thrower on our team. And he came back to me a week after Thanksgiving. So he's only been doing this for 2 or 3 weeks. And I came in, and he's just beaming. And I said to him, what's up? And he said, you know what? He says, I'm doubling my throws right now, the number of throws I can get through my workouts. In fact, I'm doubling the amount of volume in my throws and things like that. He says, I'm not inflamed. My joints are better and stuff like that. And I said, well, how hard is this for a student athlete to do this, who's now getting ready for graduate school and is competing? And he's a Canadian. Mm-hmm. And he says, I'm getting ready to compete in the nationals there. I said, how easy is it to try to get 1,500 points off the Andy scores? And he says, quote, stupid easy, stupid easy. Mm-hmm. And then I followed his career. He's a 5-time consecutive national champion hammer thrower for Canada.
Wow.
And here's a guy, I mean, who was basically...
his career might have been not very successful.
I don't think it's obviously just eating more greens, but I mean, it had a major
effect.
But when I looked at what basically his coach had him on a keto diet.
Yeah.
And he had no energy, he had joint pain, he had all these symptoms, and he would probably be at your retreat in a few years.
Yeah, well, I see that all the time. We advise these professional athletes, and they do much better. And they have a longer lifespan in their careers. They don't get sick.
Yeah.
It's great.
So, it's so gratifying when you see, it's predictable when you apply these principles to your life.